Hello, and welcome to the second official views letter from the desk of the Foggy Author. My writing life. Editing didn't happen this week. Okay, so I had plans to dig into some chapters, but life had other priorities, and they won. It's not about feeling guilty, just one of those weeks where time got away from me. Plus, the heat really didn't help. I'm lining things up for a better week ahead and looking forward to getting back into the edit zone soon. I know it feels like a long time since I started this book, and I want to thank you for your patience. Last week marked 1 year since my mum passed away. Angel was always a very active member of the Facebook group, and it was particularly difficult for us all as a family when she died. This year, some of us met up and took some flowers to her grave. It's been a weird year without her, as it was when my father passed away, but I look forward happy in the fact that although they divorced when they were younger, I know in the end that they loved each other very much. Now, back to editing. Whilst tidying the writing room this week, I found the course material to the editing and proofreading course I signed up to a couple of years ago. The course is still available online, and now that I've found the material, I can continue to finish, putting an editing and proofreading qualification under my belt. And talking about writing, I've also decided to get rid of collabora-office and switch over to libreoffice. It's free and the read text plugin works well. I do miss the read aloud function of MS Word, but it was the right choice to make and saves so much money, which I can put into the business towards other things. What am I reading this week? Takopi's Original Sin. Every year at Christmas we theme our presents. It's happened a few years now and started with presents beginning with the letter N. We've had charity shop finds, mental health and well-being and more. This year the theme was Japan, so for Christmas I received some manga books including Pluto, Free Aaron, Captain Corinth and Takopi's Original Sin. Reading a manga book can be a little challenging itself, as the books start at the back, and when you read from top to bottom, you read from right to left, so my brain was a little confused for a moment, but now I'm used to it. I'm really loving the story. This particular story is about a friendly alien from the planet Happy who meets a girl on planet Earth, then helps her to live a happier life. It got quite graphic really fast, especially when one of the characters bullies the main character. Following some intervention from the happy alien, Shizuka begins to realize there is more to life than just being bullied, and the happy alien learns more about humans on planet Earth. Ask the author. In last week's video, I mentioned that I bought a desk riser to lift my monitor, and I showed you a picture of my desk setup. In the comments, Kirsty asked me, what is that little white button thing on the right hand side of your computer? It looks like it has 15 buttons. That little white thing is called a Stream Deck. Before I go any further, just to be super clear up front, this is not a sponsored video. This little gadget was a Christmas gift from my mum, so no freebies, no affiliate links, just me being a nerd about buttons. So, what is it? Basically, it's a customizable keypad with these awesome little LCD screens. Each one can be programmed to do almost anything. Launch apps, control your audio, switch scenes in streaming software, run multi-step macros, open folders, or even send tweets if that's your thing. How do I use it? Personally, I've set it up for my daily workflow. One button opens my writing project, another starts a Pomodoro timer. I've got one that launches my recording setup, and a few more that handle repetitive editing tasks. It's like having a command center on my desk, and it saves me clicks, which adds up. Here's the good stuff. build quality is solid, the software is really polished, and the stand actually works well. The ability to make folders means you're not limited to just 15 buttons or 15 actions. This thing goes deep. And if you're the kind of person who enjoys customizing your tools, this is a dream. That said, it's not perfect. There is a bit of a learning curve if you want to go beyond the basics, and yeah, it's not cheap. This 15 button version usually retails for around £150, but honestly, I think it's worth it if you'll actually use it. So, would I recommend it? Absolutely. If you're a YouTuber, streamer, writer, or just someone who loves smart shortcuts, the Elgato Stream Deck is kind of brilliant. Again, not sponsored, just something I'm really enjoying. If you've got one, let me know in the comments how you're using it. I'd love to steal your best ideas. Book of the Week. This week's Book of the Week is Travellers in Time: Mysteries and Unbelievable Stories Throughout History. Do time travellers really exist? Have the proofs been hidden? Travellers in Time: Mysteries and Unbelievable Stories Throughout History takes you on a story where the line between reality and fantasy blurs. Are these stories real evidence of time travel, or are they just elaborate hoaxes? You decide. From the enigmatic John Titor, the alleged time traveller who predicted catastrophic events, to Andrew Basiago and the Pegasus Project, this book compiles the most astonishing accounts of time travellers, hidden conspiracies, and unexplained phenomena. So, what will you find in this book? The case of Mike Markham, the inventor who vanished after trying to build a time machine. Andrew Carlson, the man who claimed to have travelled to the past with financial information from the future. Håkan Nordqvist, who insists he met his future self and documented the encounter in photographs. Bryant Johnson, a supposed time traveller who warned of an alien invasion. And many more unresolved enigmas that challenge history and our perception of time, sciences, paradoxes, and the multiverse. Beyond these incredible accounts, this book explores the mystery of time paradoxes, wormholes, and multiverse theories, analysing how modern science is beginning to push the boundaries of the impossible. Reality or fiction? In the end, you have the final word. Dive into these stories, examine the evidence, and decide for yourself whether these accounts are mere hoaxes or proof that time is not what we believe. Copies of this book are available on Amazon, and the link is below in the description. Featured article: What is an independent author? When I first started writing, people would ask me what my job was, and I would say I was a writer. However, when I said that, the reply would be, "That's cool, what do you do for your real job?" Once I had published my first book, I decided to call myself an author, and the reply has changed, and people now ask, "Wow, really? What do you write?" And a conversation starts. The difference between being a writer and an author for me is massive, and today I'm going to explain why. As a writer, you write stories. You then send them to an editor, and the sales and marketing team will help you publish and sell the books. This gives you the chance to write more books while all of this is going on. So, in a nutshell, writers write. As an independent author, you get to do it all. I'm not just a writer, I have many different roles as an independent author. These typically fit the following roles: brainstorming, plotting and outlining, writing, editing, formatting, creating the book cover, and publishing and marketing. Let's break those down so you can see the sorts of things I do. Brainstorming. Brainstorming is the act of thinking up ideas for a book you'd like to write. Most writers start with the question, what if? See if you can guess the following books and movies by their what ifs. What if someone brought dinosaurs back to life and turned them into an amusement park? Yes, that's correct. Jurassic Park. What if you could time travel in a DeLorean? Well done, Back to the Future. What if you could make a spaceship out of a police box? What if you could make it bigger on the inside? Yeah, I knew that was an easy one. That's Doctor Who. What if you could travel to the future and the past at the same time? Of course, time clones. What if you could piece together a human being from all sorts of spare parts, then bring that monster to life? That would be Frankenstein. This also works with characters, especially baddies. What if the baddie would come into your dreams and had blades for fingers? That's Freddy Krueger. What if the main character was a lion who talked and helped people? That'd be Aslan from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. What if a school child turned out to have magical powers and defeat the most deadliest wizard alive? Harry Potter, of course. Plotting. There are typically three types of writers: plotters, pantsers, and plantsers. A plotter will usually create a bullet list, starting with the beginning, middle, and end of a story, then add the what if and fill in the chunks. Sometimes plotters will create the characters first and add them to the story as they plot. Other times, the author may plot first, just adding the characters as character 1, character 2, etc. and so forth. Conflicts are problems that our main character must overcome to become a better person by the end of the story. Pantsers. They usually fly by the seat of their pants. In the UK, we tend to call pantsers discovery writers because pants in the US are trousers, and in the UK they are undergarments such as underpants. A discovery writer does not typically plot. Instead, they are inspired by something they see, experience, or think of, just as plotters. But instead of bullet listing their plot, a discovery writer will usually just wait a while, let the story unfold in their head, and then sit down and start writing, letting the story in their head guide them. A plotter knows what the story will be before they start writing it. A pantser hardly ever knows what the story will be, so it's as much of a surprise to them while writing it as it will be when the reader is reading it. A plantser is usually someone who has an idea for a story, but creates some characters, then writes a story as it unfolds in their brain. Sometimes they may have a rough idea of what they want to write. Sometimes the story can just veer off into a different direction and evolve into something that was different to the plot. As a Foggy author, I'm a plotter. I get to choose my own characters, usually by writing their details down in the same format as a CV or a resume. And then I write my plot out, ensuring that I don't forget what to write, or where my plot is going, when I'm in the writing process. Writing. As a writer, I typically use a laptop or computer for getting the book in digital format. This saves the effort of converting handwritten notes and that all-important time. As a gadget lover and someone who's tried all sorts of software, I have tried literally hundreds of different note-taking softwares and writing softwares. Most of the time, I like to stick to my two favourite writing softwares, which are Scrivener for writing my novels and the Bear Notes app, which is great on my mobile and on my laptop. Through the past, I've used many different computers and operating systems, and for my writing, I tend to use a Mac. Editing my first draft. Once I've written a book, this written section becomes known as my first draft. I edit using a program called Grammarly to get rid of grammatical and typing errors. I also add chapter breaks, typically with cliffhangers to keep people turning the pages at the end of a chapter. The second edit is usually the same as the first, except I go through and I pick up all the pieces that I've missed on the first edit. In the third edit, I get the computer to read it to me. Beta reading is the process of having someone, typically a reader, not an editor, read a manuscript before it's published to provide feedback from a reader's perspective. A beta reader helps the author understand how the book might be received by its target audience. Formatting with Vellum. Vellum is a magical bit of software that helps authors like me turn a messy manuscript into a sleek, professional-looking book, whether it's for e-readers or good old-fashioned paperbacks. Instead of getting lost in complicated layouts or pulling any more of my hair out over page numbers, Vellum lets me focus on the story. It handles the fiddly stuff, clean chapter breaks, fancy title pages, nice spacing, and even that satisfying curl on digital pages. With a few clicks, I get a beautiful book that looks like it belongs on a real shelf or in your hands. It's basically the fog clearing tool for authors who want their books to shine. It's also rather expensive, but given the fact you only pay for it once, you get updates for the rest of its life. Book cover creation. Canva is an easy-to-use design tool that helps authors like me create book covers, even if we're more comfortable with words than with design. Using Canva, I can choose from ready-made templates, drag and drop images, add titles, tweak fonts, and play with colours until the cover feels just right. It's all online and it doesn't require any fancy design training, just a bit of time and a good eye or a lot of experimenting. Whether I'm creating an ebook cover or something for print, Canva helps me make sure the outside of the book does justice to the inside. It's also very good for making thumbnails for my YouTube videos. Publishing. When an author publishes wide, it means their book is available in lots of places. Instead of sticking to one exclusive platform, the book is distributed across multiple stores like Apple Books, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, and even libraries and international retailers. Think of it like setting your book free to explore the world. It might take more time and effort to manage, but publishing wide gives readers more choice and helps the book find new audiences far beyond a single storefront. It's the scenic route in publishing. For some books, it's the perfect path. And that's the journey, start to shelf. From the first spark of an idea to holding a finished book in your hands or seeing it online. Each stage has its own challenges and joys. Whether you're dreaming up your first story or polishing your 10th, I hope this overview helped clear some of the fog around the process. Writing a book isn't just one big leap, it's a series of small, determined steps. Thanks for walking through them with me, and I'll see you again in the future.